Hi, my name is Trishna Pandey, and I'm here to talk about public speaking repertoire part 2. We're gonna have part 3. Initially, I was thinking I'm gonna do 2 videos, but I'm gonna do a third one. So, in this one, like I promised, we're gonna talk about it from the audience's perspective. So, when we go to hear a speech, so I'm gonna switch between what it means and what one should do as a speaker and how the audience is really experiencing it so that you can see it from the audience's side. Now, there's one huge question that all of us have in our heads is what about the success matrix? We spoke a lot about being unconditional, about giving, about not really worrying about results. But at the end of the day, let's be real, we get onto the stage because we want to create some kind of an impact and we are looking at some kind of result coming from the audience's side, and we will discuss that in my next video, not in this one. Let's look at how the audience actually experiences it so that you get a sense of the speaker's point of view and the audience's point of view, and then we can bring it all together in terms of a success metric. Okay, that's in the next video. So let's take a deep dive. So say I'm an audience and I am looking at going for a speech. Why would I go for a speech? One, I have a need, a personal need, an educational need, or some kind of requirement that I need to learn something new, or I'm looking at exposure, or I'm looking at growing. So there is an internal motivation as to why I want to do this. The second thing is it's a requirement, an academic or an official requirement because of which I'm attending a particular speech. Either ways, I'm there to listen. Right? There can be a third possibility where I'm an expert, I'm better than the speaker, and I'm there to basically assess them as to how they're really doing. We're going to talk about that a little later, but let's focus on the first two kinds of audiences where me as an audience is here to listen to a speaker to really imbibe in what they have to say. So the first thing over here one needs to understand is that I'm there to listen, irrespective of the motivation that I'm coming there from. And when I'm there sitting to listen, I'm already assuming that the person who's speaking to me is an expert in that area. So I am investing my money and my time, or just my time, to be there. And that's a big given. Which means what? Which means as a speaker, I need to maintain a certain level of a standard. And that standard is what gives the audience the assurance. How do we do that? The first 5 to 6 minutes play a critical role in this. It is when we establish credibility. Now, how do we establish credibility? Obviously, you're an expert, obviously, you have some knowledge to give. In these first 5 minutes, if you're a very, very well known person and your reputation precedes you, it's still a good idea that somebody else introduces you and gives a little bit of your background to the audience. That already sets the tone. You may want to add to that with respect to aspects of your experiences or background that you come from, maybe even anecdotally, to elaborate on what the audience is going to receive from you. So it basically shows humility, and it also shows that you're there with them and you're there to give something to them. The second thing that one might want to do as a speaker is actually set some kind of a structure to the entire thing. Now, it really depends on how long you're going to be talking. Is it going to be 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 1 hour, 1 day, 2 days, 3 days? How long is your interaction going to be with the audience? So even taking like 5 to 10 seconds in your 10-minute or a 15-minute speech and letting the audience know that here you are to share an insight or an idea, and you're going to take about 10 to 15 minutes of their time, and you're looking forward to sharing that with them, and you're open to some questions. Give them a certain kind of a structure. And when an audience has a structure, they feel certain and they feel safe. What happens then is that their mind is not wandering into what is going to happen next, what do we need to do, what is the expected behavior from me, if I have a question, should I ask, should I not ask. All these things get answered already, which means that they invest least amount of energy into these kind of things. It means also that if you're going to have a longer engagement, it might be a good idea to spend 3 to 5 minutes to outline what is it that you're going to do, and also rules of engagement. Things like, we're going to do this for about an hour and a half. There's water available next to you. If you need to take a loo break, you're welcome to leave without disturbing anybody. If you want to speak, please raise your hand. We will come to you and you can ask your questions. Or you can say, look, this is going to be a half an hour presentation, and please hear the whole thing out and reserve your questions for later. We are looking at answering everybody as much as we can, or if we cannot answer you, we will take these questions up later after the session. So setting these kind of rules of engagement really puts a certain framework in the mind of an audience, and then they can be there with you. So once all of this is set, and say that you are prepared and none of lack of preparation or presentation skills or your ability to give is all in the right place, the audience is with you. Now in 10 to 15 minutes of talking, if everything is in the right place, anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes to maybe within half an hour is like the max time. Somewhere a switch happens in the audience, and this is what we really want. The audience goes from an observer seat where they're like, okay, let's see what's happening. Is this thing for me? I turned up, I'm not sure what to expect. Kind of going from an observer mode to somebody who gets onto the bandwagon and the boat with you. And the moment an audience does that, a person does that, you have them. And this is when you can actually take them through an experience of your talk in whichever direction you want them to go, and they will trust you and they will follow your lead for the entirety of your talk or your workshop or whatever it is that you have planned for them. And that means that you must have something fantastic planned for them, right? So an audience who does that is generally going to reserve their judgment till after the show. They're just going to enjoy the ride and enjoy the experience, and you can then get back to them and ask them about how they felt, what it was, and things like that. We will talk about when is the right time to ask the experience. Is it immediately after the session? Should you be following it up later? How does this entire dynamic work, and what the metric should be, and how to actually take feedback to gather data for this metric is something we will discuss in the next video. So thank you so much for your time today, and it is amazing for me to talk to a camera, assuming that you're on the other side. I hope you have an amazing time listening to me, assuming that I'm a real person talking to you. I'd love to hear about what you think and your thoughts and comments. I'm happy to answer any questions that you have. Have a lovely rest of the day, morning, evening, wherever you're at and at whatever time you're watching this video. Thank you so much. Have a lovely rest of the day. Done.